and I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what it is that they do, Deloitte Digital, and their office is here based locally, but they are a national company, and with that, I will thank them for being here. Thank you, Tim, and I will let you take it over.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Before we jump into it, I'd like to do a quick survey. Who here is in the 201 track? All right. 301? Okay. 401? All right. After the program, who here is looking at getting more involved in the business side? So product management, technical, project management. Anyone? All right, I'll talk to you, sir. Oh, and you, sir, and you as well, sir. Anyone here interested in the creative side? You know, user experience design, interaction design? Ooh, Stephanie, there are people here. And then we're going to make an assumption that many of you are interested in software engineering and development. So let me start off by quickly introducing some of my colleagues who are here with me. So Tim Mccarthy, Engagement Manager, Stephanie DiBiase, Creative Director, Josh Bhupathi, Software Engineer, and surprise last minute guest, James Norton, and surprise Deloitte alumni, Natalie Rocha. So please welcome them. All right, we're here to talk about Deloitte Digital, how we work, cognitive capabilities, chatbots, robotic automation, and I have to apologize, the photograph was a little misleading. There will be no robot. Just want to get that out of the way. And really, we're here to answer your questions. So we're going to power through the content. If you could please just hold your questions to the end, we're going to allow time for Q&A. So let me jump right into it. So my name is Tim Mccarthy. I am an engagement manager with Deloitte Digital. I help partners develop client pursuit strategies, proposals, and sell work. And once that work is sold, I'm accountable for shipping the product. I am that single throat to choke. In terms of our product, it could be a strategy, it could be a design prototype, it could be a fully functioning software product. iOS app, Android app, website, voice services. That's what's really in our wheelhouse. In terms of industry sectors, I have deep background in telecommunications, over 15 years. Those are some of the brands I've worked with. In the past 3 years, I've been moving into life sciences and healthcare. It's a space I'm really passionate about, and I'm trying to leverage my background in telecommunications, my technical skills to sort of make that transition into that sector, because it's a very exciting space for me. About me personally, I am a proud Canadian. Let's give it up for Canada. Some of you may have noticed the insignia of the Royal Canadian Air Force. My grandfather served. I myself have not served, but I have a special place in my heart for those that do. I'm intimately familiar with Deloitte's Veteran Outreach Program and other industry programs. So if you're a vet or if you know a vet, send me an email. Let's talk if you want to sort of follow up after this. I have an MBA from the University of Toronto and a certification in telecommunications management from Ryerson University. And last but not least, I have a knockout wife, and she's right there. Can you help me out? And now over to Stephanie.
Hey everybody, my name is Stephanie DiBiase. I'm a creative director at Deloitte Digital. No relation to Ted DiBiase if you're a wrestling fan from the 80s, although I wish. I focus mostly on retail transformation, experience design, and partnering with great folks like Tim and our engineers that are here as well. So I'm here to answer any questions, talk to you about creative and how that works at a place like Deloitte, where we work with big brands like Lululemon and some of the others that you see here. So happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me to play along, Tim. Josh.
Looks like Tim didn't get the black and white plaid memo. I'm Josh Bhupathi. I'm a software developer from Deloitte Digital and one of the lead engineers here in Seattle. I'm an accidental farmer because I've been getting into hydroponics. So my office is complete with like a 4-foot tall hydroponic Thai chili pepper. And I'm a big drone fanatic and a fellow motorcyclist, so I like to take my bike and go flying drones, and I'm looking at how to apply those into industries like construction, agriculture, and most importantly, search and rescue. And one other kind of volunteer opportunity I've been involved in has been secondchancehiring.com, the idea of helping remove barriers to entry for people with criminal records to help them get back into the workforce and help them get jobs. So check that out if you're interested. At Deloitte Digital, I work primarily on digital products, mostly mobile applications, so iOS, sometimes Android, and we help brands like Walmart, Apple, REI, Target, many others help them move forward and kind of either get caught up with what the needs of their users or help them add new capabilities to their business.
All right, thanks, Josh. So who here has heard of Deloitte? Okay, who here realizes it was founded in 1845? Yeah, it's old, right? Deloitte Digital is not so old. Started in 2012 when, somebody can do the math, it wasn't quite 173 years old yet. Deloitte made a decision to enter into the digital technology space here in the United States through its acquisition of Ubermind. Has anyone here heard of Ubermind? Okay, yeah, so for those who aren't aware, Ubermind was a Fremont-based company. At the time, it was around 200 people, focused on delivering great mobile and web experiences for a lot of premium brands, Target, Alaska Airlines. There's a great credential log. However, in the past 6 years, the partners said, hey, this digital thing, it's catching on and we can make money at it. So they went on a strategic acquisition spree and they built up a network of robust capabilities. Everything from full service creative, business intelligence to customer experience measurement. In addition to great experiences on web, mobile, and voice. So know that the Seattle studio where we're from, this is us. So this is our context within the organization, but there's a vast network of robust capabilities that partners sell in. So sometimes you're partnering up with 1, 2, 3, and it's not always the easiest, but we do it, and clients love it. So let's talk about innovation, because at the end of the day, the digital experience team, we lead with innovation. So back in 2012, the reason Ubermind was acquired, it's because they were delivering very elegant user experiences, and they were robust, reliable, fast. So how do we maintain that? How do we innovate? So I believe, and others believe, that innovation works best when the cost of failure is low. So Deloitte has a design-led methodologies that helps you rapidly prototype in a structured way through your discovery, really understanding that problem, defining the solution, and on some projects, this could be as little as 4 weeks, but some projects are much larger, and so the model needs to flex. But this allows us to experiment with ideas and really focus on getting the right idea before we start scaling up our investment. Let's make sure we're getting the right idea before we focus on getting it right. So as we move through the implementation phase, we're an agile Scrum shop. We deliver functioning software at the end of each sprint, and we provide live demonstrations to our customers. Some projects are maybe 4 sprints. Some projects might be 12 sprints. Some projects might never end. So there are cases where you partner with a strategic client, you start with the initial release, it turns into a product roadmap, and next thing you know, you've been working with the same client for multiple years. So that happens. So in terms of innovation, where's the green field? Cognitive. So before we get into cognitive, and I'm not going to steal Josh's thunder here, just wanted to talk about sort of 4 cognitive capabilities that we're seeing demand for in the marketplace. And you may or may not be fully aware of these things, but speech recognition. So if you think about this, this is simple voice to text. This is dictation software. Natural language processing, natural language processing. We've all have our favorite in terms of Google, Amazon, Cortana, or Siri. Those are my favorite in that order. They're not all created equally. But if you think about that, natural language processing is deriving intent and parameters you could code from natural language. Robotic, process automation. The ability to automate sort of routine tasks, and we've had spam filters and search engine optimization for a while. Actually, that's more machine learning. Anyways, Josh, do you want to save me here?
Yes. Where cognitive capabilities kind of come into play these days is that we saw a lot of demand, years ago for features in mobile applications or kind of really specific projects that we could kind of scope out and build for our customers in a pretty reasonable way. What we're seeing these days is a lot of our clients need very complicated sounding solutions. They're looking at things like machine learning for how can this make us go faster or have better quality or give us better insights, or how can we use robotic process automation to take our best people away from menial tasks and get them doing something like valuable. And if you think about these things, they're coming to us, they think they want software, but in the past you just needed to build an app, right? Like make a nice interface for something. You've now enabled that person to do something great. But we've got a lot of great apps these days. We've got a lot of great websites. There's a lot of capability at your fingertips. And so now we're looking deeper at how can we really take these processes of these companies and use software to really push them forward and make a big impact. So both speech recognition and natural language processing, what we're seeing here is, we've had, I don't know if anybody, AIM days, Smarter Child was the chatbot of the, 90s. You could ask it for movie times and stuff. This is not new technology, but what is new is being able to get deep analysis of text really, really quickly. It gives you metadata that you can write code against, and give you a bunch of tools that make it really easy to do this right from the get-go. And so what this sort of enables is now very new looking software products, right? It's not just a feature of an iOS app or a feature of a website. It's actually, it's many, many pieces of software across the entire business that are going to work together to build kind of the future of software. So let's see. So what Tim was kind of showing with the innovation and investment approach is that these are hard problems to look at. It's kind of difficult for us to just spit out a prototype and say, here's the machine learning applied to Walmart or something, right? That's a pretty big thing to do without any upfront investment. So what we've started to kind of do is build some sort of like accelerators to really demonstrate the different technology and demonstrate how it's meant to apply to these businesses. So the example we want to show you is this small conversational UI platform that enables a lot of these cognitive capabilities for our clients. So we're talking about a chatbot. Ultimately, users talking to a bot computer, whatever, and getting responses and fulfilling their requests, fulfilling what they intend to do. Where we kind of take that concept and turn it into something that clients can actually see and feel as, we see where this will fit into our business in the future is, we take this and we've built an accelerator that uses one Node.js API for kind of routing the different features of the bot, and then integrating with many different platforms such as Google Home, Alexa, iPhone, Android, Facebook, you name it, and allowing the user to kind of come at this bot from basically wherever they want. So I'm going to stop right there and take a step back really quick and just say that when we're at Deloitte Digital, we have a lot of different potential clients, a lot of different industries that we work in, and we want to tailor things that we're going to show our clients, like our capabilities. We want to tailor them to that client so that we're not showing a retail client something that is specific to financial or something that just doesn't really make sense. So the way that we created this chatbot prototype was we took a step back and made a generator. If you've been using JavaScript or Node.js and you've been using plugins and stuff, you might have run into a generator before where it asks you a few questions and then kind of spits you out an entire application or generates you an application. So we took this chatbot, created a generator that makes it really, really easy for our employees, our other developers, to get up and running with a fully featured chatbot stack right from the beginning. So now you want to purpose it towards a specific industry, you can get a ton of capability right from the beginning. And what those capabilities are, so the ultimate starting point of kind of these newer interactions are a user wants to do something. Like a user wants to refill their prescription, or a user wants to schedule a callback or upgrade their phone or something. So a user's going to say something, and they're going to come at it from any of the different platforms that they're used to. It could be they've got a Google Home in their house and they just say, hey, or okay Google, will you refill my prescription? Or they're on a website, they were on the Walgreens website or something, and a chatbot popped up. They were going to go find the place to refill it, but it popped up and they just do it there instead. So taking that message and then where software comes into play and becomes very powerful here to kind of glue everything together is really this middleware layer where we've taken all the data from the user, right, text or voice or speech data, and then within our middleware, we'll take that and we'll send it out to a natural language processing API. Currently, we're using Dialogflow API AI. That's Google's free product that you can get started with too. And so we take that text, we process it, and it gives us back metadata that we can use to write logic against. So if you say, I want to refill my prescriptions, we've configured Dialogflow to be able to recognize what you've said and pull out any meaningful information from that. If you said, I want to refill prescription number 12345, it's smart enough to grab that number and not ask you for the prescription number at that point. And then, again, within the middleware layer, this is going to handle kind of the routing and the request layer of these user requests. So it's going to route it based on how we need to fulfill it. If we need to call some web service and look up some data to return to it. It also could be triggering some events somewhere else in another system. And so that is ultimately kind of the like Node API backend that's responsible for that. And then ultimately fulfillment is the message being delivered back to the user. So just like when you're talking about web APIs and websites, you've got a request and a response. This is very similar, right? Your request is a message coming from a user from any number of different places, maybe a webhook, maybe some other place. And the response is really you making a request back out to get that message delivered. So that could be telling Apple's API, hey, this iOS, message is meant for this iOS user, or it could be any of the other platform integrations. So again, keeping all of the really important stuff in one place and having the glue on each side be all of the different random platforms, right? And it's a small amount of integration layer code. Cool. I've got a quick demo. Are you on Wi-Fi too? Not. Right. Give me 1 second. So I'll kind of show you what this